What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, crypto warriors? It's Ultra Crypto back at it again. Today is Saturday, May 2nd, 2020. Don't listen to what people say, watch what they do. We have to take into consideration, you know what? Action speaks louder than words. Point blank, period. In today's video, we don't talk about, or I'm going to cover Bitcoin's performance over the past decade and a little bit about the history of the price history, recent news about JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs, and what they have to say about Bitcoin and the warning that they have about Bitcoin, and a history of JP Morgan and Bitcoin and what they have done in the past and how shady they are. I am pumped for this video. Let's get into it. So with a quick Google search, the best performing asset ever, just Google search, and you'll see pretty much all the articles, well, not pretty much, all of the articles that come up on Google will have something to do with Bitcoin. Every single one of them. So here we are. This is from Bloomberg back in a few months ago in December, on December 30th, 2019. So what's that, 5 months ago, right? Bitcoin's 9 million% rise this past decade leaves the skeptics, and I'm not going to click on it. I want you guys to come and DYOR, do your own research. Pretty much that's what all the articles are going to be saying. You know, Bitcoin's, 8.9 million% ROI, basically 9 million. The latest articles over the past day or two will say Bitcoin has been the best performing asset for 2020. Next, Bitcoin's price history. This is from Investopedia. Investopedia, to me, is like the Google search for investing. All right, you want to know something about, or you have a topic that has to do with investing, and you want to find out a little bit more about it. Typically, this is the first website that pops up, and it's a good source to have whenever you're doing your research on different assets and things of that nature. Yeah, it just goes through a history about the Bitcoin and the price history and the price discovery and all that good stuff. When did it start, gives you a little history and all that good stuff, and just breaks it down, and it's good. Again, come search it and do DYOR. Do your own research. That's just 2 quick searches from, using Google, which led me to this page here, right? Quick search, the best performing asset ever, and trying to find out a history about Bitcoin's price. This was the first page that popped up. Now, this is the article that I read earlier from the Bitcoinist.com. JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs, or I shouldn't say Goldman Sachs. Well, it is Goldman Sachs. Goldman advised clients to not buy Bitcoin, claims industry exec. This, it's got my blood boiling because we know what they're doing, and it's messed up that they're doing it to their own clients. It's one thing to try to fool the whole public and mislead regular retail investors, but when a client comes to you, you're supposed to try to help that client to achieve their overall goal. Speaking from experience as a personal trainer, whenever I meet a new client or whatever the case is, go over setting with them and try to help them to achieve their fitness goals. Try to help them to achieve their health goals. I don't mislead them. I don't sell them bro science. I don't BS them, period. All right? Because I could not only hurt them, but they could further not recommend me if I'm a liar and if I'm misleading to them. Well, here we are. Advisor, this is just a synopsis right here, but let's just get right into it. All right, so we have JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs are advising their clients against purchasing Bitcoin, a unique asset whose US dollar rate has surged 8,000% since 2009. Digital Asset Investment Management, a California-based digital asset wealth manager, alleged that it risked losing a vital client upon the intervention of the two financial moguls. The firm claimed that it has an institutional player who was ready to invest in Bitcoin but changed his mind after speaking to his advisors at JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs. So, two different companies, and they're both advising him stay away from it. And here's a quote from the digital asset investment management Dame. I'm gonna say Dame. All right, Dame. I have a client who was ready. I have a client who was ready to buy Bitcoin, and after talking to his advisors at JPM and GS, told me he's not interested anymore. Explained Adam Porkornicki, partners at Dame Dame. I asked what they, and instead of answering, he asked me to explain in one sentence what the benefits are to buying Bitcoin now in terms of proven results. I just showed you before coming to this page. This is what buying Bitcoin now means. The price action, the amount. It's just been the best performing asset since 2009. Over the past decade, it's been the best performing asset. This is what I tell anyone that asks me about buying Bitcoin. And as I've stated in my past few videos, that I've had more of my friends interested in Bitcoin and cryptos since mid-March, when this whole economic and pandemic thing started. So what do I tell them? Hey, do your own research, but it's also the best performing asset since 2009. Point blank, period. Actually, the best performing asset ever in history. Point blank. No questions about it. And that you don't have to go all in on crypto. You don't have to be a crazy person like myself and go all in on Bitcoin, but you can put 1 to 5%, because this is what the experts say, right? Put 1 to 5% of your net worth, or if you're investing monies that you are willing to lose, right, into Bitcoin, and just kind of forget about it and come back to it, a year or two later. Well, this client of Dame is saying that JPM and GS is telling him, hey, stay the hell away from it, right? But we've seen in the past, and I think I've stated this in the past, where in the past, when I first was thinking about getting into Bitcoin, and I started doing my own research on it and things of that nature, I would watch the CNBCs, the Fox Business News. Anytime Bitcoin came up, it was always in a negative light, so I stayed away from it. I, did my search on the internet and, just do my own research, like I said, and I've always came across Bitcoin being shunned in a negative light, or in a negative aspect. So, it's for drug dealers, it's for terrorists. Me being a former Marine, hey, I hear terrorists, I'm gonna stay away from it. So, there we go. The case follows a long history of growing distrust between the established banking and the emerging cryptocurrency sector. Bitcoin's peer-to-peer financial network allows people to transact value anywhere in the world at the cheapest rates. The cryptocurrency naturally poses a competitional threat to a much more expensive banking sector. If you want to send money from one bank to the next, you're going to pay a fee, a wire transfer fee, and sometimes it takes days. It's just archaic, and you have to pay the toll collector, which is the bank. Things like Zelle, things like Chase. I forgot what Chase have, but like it's some kind of instant pay through if you have Chase banking account. You could send from one Chase account to the next. I think it's called Chase Pay. I may be wrong, whatever. But these things didn't exist before 2010 because I didn't even know them to come up on my radar until maybe 2011, 2012-ish. And I want to say Zelle is something like 2015 or so, where as long as you have a bank account within the United States, you could send funds from one bank to the next, and it's all, it's basically instantly, and it's zero fees. And all these quote unquote innovations that the banks have all of a sudden is all because of Bitcoin, because they saw the competition that they were getting with Bitcoin, that someone could send value over the internet worldwide with minimal fees. So they had to innovate because people were stepping away from them. Because if I could send an email in a fraction of a second, why can't I send money over the internet? It's basically the same thing. It's just information over wires. They saw the competition from Bitcoin and they quote unquote had to innovate. They didn't innovate, they were running scared. That serves part of the reason why banks hate Bitcoin. In 2017, JP Morgan's chief Jamie Dimon marked the cryptocurrency as fraud, while going as far as warning his staff with the sack if they traded Bitcoin, threatening his staff, saying, if you trade Bitcoin, I will fire you. Personally, I remember that video. All right, I remember him coming out and saying that. And that's, again, another reason why I kind of stayed away from Bitcoin, because as you know the history, if you know the history, in 2017, Bitcoin started to pump hard, right? From January, when I could have gotten in and gotten several Bitcoin at $900 a Bitcoin, and I kept staying away from it because of all the negative connotations associated with Bitcoin. 2 years later, Bank of America admitted that Bitcoin could reduce its revenues in the long term. They're running scared, so they're gonna be telling their clients to stay away from it, because they don't want their clients to know that you could get a 9 million% return. All right, that Bitcoin has been the best performing assets since 2009. They don't want their clients to know the truth. They're hiding the truth from their client. But the cryptocurrency has since become less a payment technology and more an anti-fiat movement. That's what it is to me. It's a way to exit the system, this lying, cheating, debt-based system. That's what Bitcoin is to me. And I've stated that in my videos in the past. And I've also told that people that's been questioning about Bitcoin, I tell them, hey, it's been the best performing asset, and it's also a way to exit the system. It's a way to exit the system, to get out of the system. A lot of people don't want to hear. They want to hear all my ideological ideas about or thoughts about Bitcoin. They just want to know, let's talk about these gains. Rightfully so. Let's talk about these gains. So let's talk about it. Just tell them, do a quick Google search, or send them links, right? Or send them my ebook. Again, that's linked in the description below. A section of investors treats it as a hedge against the booming inflation. Same as boomers consider gold is their safe haven. The cryptocurrency so far has delivered astonishing results to its long-term investors, and that's what it has. If you've gotten into Bitcoin since 2009, 2010, 2011, that 3-year period, and you just pretty much held, you're sitting pretty right now. So let's go back to this statement right here from Mr. Jamie Dimon, 2017. Let's have a quick look. And that's the thing about the internet. Once it's out there, you can't hide it. Once you've posted something or you've said something, and it's been all over the news, especially somebody like Jamie Dimon, it's out there. You can't hide it, baby. So here it is. After the boss calls Bitcoin a fraud, JP Morgan buys the dip. According to public records of Nordnet trading logs, the two associated firms, JP Morgan Securities Limited and Morgan Stanley, bought roughly €3 million worth of XBT note shares. Interestingly, after the recent regulatory crackdown in China and the statements from JP Morgan's senior executive Jamie Dimon talking trash about Bitcoin. His firm bought the dip on September 15th. September 15th. When was this? 2017. In fact, out of all the companies on this list, the Goldman Sachs and Barclays, the JP Morgan team of buyers purchased the most XBT notes. So there you have it. Manipulation at its best. And again, it's Goldman Sachs, it's Morgan Stanley, it's JP Morgan, it's all these big traditional financial firm types that they're out there they were able to manipulate the price, especially because JP Dimon, of who he is in the financial world and in the financial sector, he came out, trashed Bitcoin, threatened to fire his employees personally, and now days after or weeks or whatever after that, his company is buying up Bitcoin. Not the physical asset itself, but a fund that track the price of Bitcoin. Why would they do that? It's because you got to watch what they do, not what they say. It's all shady, man. All right, here it is. I read that part already. Boom. So let's get down to it. And this is what he had to say to his client after he asked them, give me the elevator pitch on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a hedge against systematic risk. See, 2008 banking crisis, 2011 European sovereign crisis, 2018 EM currency crisis, and now. So there's always some kind of crisis, and Bitcoin has always been that hedge against it. All right. He wrote in the response to Mr. Porkornicki, Porkornicki. I'm butchering that last name. Sorry, but you see it. Bitcoin has been that hedge against the system, so to speak. And yes, we've seen what JP Morgan's Jamie Dimon has come out and said, and then literally his company is buying up funds that track the Bitcoin price. And not only that, we've seen Mr. Warren Buffett, all right, who to me, he's the best investor of the 20th century, come out and say that Bitcoin is rat poison squared. But we've seen that Bitcoin has outperformed everything since 2009. And I'm not going to click on these articles here, but I'll, again, just come do a quick Google search. I'll leave a link to this page in the bottom, and you could come and click on these different articles. And again, DYOR, check it out yourself. But the point is, don't listen to what they're saying. Watch what they're doing. And this is just some of the same old tactics that they are up to when it comes to these big banking firms. And they're just running scared. Because if this client takes maybe 5% of his net worth and start dabbling in Bitcoin, and he's seeing that 5% is outperforming everything else, then think about it. He's going to be like, well, if I had put maybe 10% or 20% or the whole friggin' bag in Bitcoin, maybe I would have been better off. And that's what they're worried about. They're scared. So don't listen to what they're saying. Watch what they're doing. And they are investing in Bitcoin back to back all the time. So thanks for watching. It's Sergeant Crypto. Smash that like. Let's have a discussion in the comment section below. And I'm out. Peace.